and health. But griping causes discouragement. So if you ask yourself the question, if you go around talking, you know what, I don't know why she did that, I don't know why he did that, you know, I just don't, you just go ahead, you just talk yourself into a mess. You talk yourself into being more and more discouraged because, listen, first of all, you know you're right. You know you're right. So what happens? You just start spilling out all these things that are wrong. And since you're right, everything you must be saying must be true. And if all that stuff is true, then you got a reason to be discouraged. So just get depressed and stay there, because that's where you feel the best. And there are people who love being depressed because they have an excuse for not doing what they ought to be doing as far as a wife or a husband or a mother or a father. They just enjoy being depressed because it's an escape. It is an escape that is endless. They're not happy. They have no joy, no peace, no real contentment in their life. And then, of course, one of the consequences is making unwise decisions. When you're discouraged and you get a little frantic about things, you're going to make unwise decisions. Usually they're very costly decisions. It's not wise to make a decision when you're too tired. It's not wise to make a decision when you're angry. And it's certainly not wise to make a decision when you're just very, very discouraged about things and down in the dumps. In other words, because you're not thinking properly. Do you have to stay that way? No, you're not. And I'm coming to that now. But what I want you to see is there are consequences to discouragement that are destructive, that are costly, not only in money, but in relationships, and also costly in your spiritual life. Because here's what happens. You remain discouraged and don't deal with it. What happens is, well, God, first of all, God isn't answering my prayer. God doesn't care. I know the Bible says he is. He's not with me. And I know the Bible says he is, but he's not. I don't see him doing anything. And what happens? Little by little, Satan just interjects these doubts. Well, if God cares, he'd change this. Well, if God loved me, he wouldn't let this happen. Well, if God this, and if God that, and if God the other. And so doubts begin to grow. And finally, here's what happens. The natural thing is you begin to drift away from the Lord in your relationship to him. Then that just makes it all worse. And the next thing you know, if you get to drifting far enough, you're into sin, and now you are really discouraged because you know where you used to be, you know where you are. You think, how did I get here? By degrees. How do I get out? By making wise decisions. Now, the